Many of the most iconic Hulk moments from across Marvel movie history have only improved with age. The Hulk's on-screen legacy is one of evolution, power, and surprising depth. From his early cinematic outings to his larger-than-life role in the MCU timeline, Bruce Banner's green alter ego has smashed through everything from tanks to emotional barriers. The Incredible Hulk often gets overlooked, but its depiction of Hulk's first transformation in the MCU remains one of the most intense and memorable introductions of any Marvel hero. When Bruce Banner is cornered by thugs in the bottling plant, the suspense builds slowly. Shadows move, machinery groans, and something monstrous stirs. Then, without fanfare, Hulk emerges from the darkness. What makes this transformation so effective is how it leans into horror. Audiences don't see him clearly at first, only hear bones cracking and see flashes of green. The sound design and cinematography make the moment terrifying, especially for first-time viewers. On Rewatch, the scene stands out for its restraint and atmosphere. Before Hulk became a quippy team player, he was a force of nature, and this debut perfectly captured the fear and mystery surrounding him. The opening of Avengers. Infinity War wastes no time giving us a brutal fight between two unstoppable forces, Hulk and Thanos. What makes this moment so effective on Rewatch is how it subverts expectations. At first, Hulk seems dominant, throwing punches with raw power, but then Thanos outmatches him with cold, strategic brutality. It's a chilling, sobering reminder that strength alone isn't enough. Watching it again, the significance deepens. This defeat haunts Hulk throughout the movie, making his refusal to return later all the more meaningful. The battle also reinforces Thanos' terrifying threat level. Rewatching it now, viewers recognize it as a psychological turning point for both Hulk and the Avengers. It's a short but powerful scene that changed the Hulk's trajectory. It also laid the emotional groundwork for Banner's future evolution into Smart Hulk. In Avengers, the confrontation between Hulk and the rest of Earth's mightiest heroes on board the Helicarrier is as chaotic as it is revealing. It's the first time audiences see the Hulk unleashed in a confined space with little to no control. It quickly becomes clear how dangerous he is, even to his own team. The tension is thick, with Black Widow genuinely terrified and Thor forced to intervene. What makes this sequence so rewatchable is its layered intensity. It's not just action for spectacle, it's a reminder of how volatile Hulk is. Watching it now, especially knowing how far Banner and Hulk will later come in Avengers Endgame, it serves as a stark contrast. It's the Hulk in his rawest form, unpredictable, primal, and unfiltered. That raw energy still crackles years later on repeated viewings. The climactic battle between Hulk and Abomination in The Incredible Hulk was the MCU's earliest monster-versus-monster showdown. It remains one of its most viscerally satisfying sequences. Set against the backdrop of a burning Harlem, the battle has a gritty, unpolished feel that contrasts with later MCU fights. Over the years, what makes it more rewarding to rewatch is how brutally grounded it feels. It's more Brawl than ballet. The stakes are personal, with Hulk fighting not just to stop Abomination, but to save Betty Ross and protect innocent lives. It's also a moment where Hulk shows growth, choosing not to kill Blonsky in the end. In retrospect, this moment adds emotional depth to Hulk's character arc and lays the groundwork for his future development as more than just a raging monster. It's a raw and essential MCU moment. Though Ang Lee's Hulk was divisive to say the least, the sequence where Hulk battles the U.S. Army in the desert remains a visual and emotional powerhouse. At the time, audiences were divided on the film's cerebral tone and stylized visuals. However, this scene has aged surprisingly well. Hulk's raw might is on full display. Tanks are tossed like toys, jets are swatted from the sky, and the desert becomes a war zone. On Rewatch, the scene captures the sheer tragedy of Hulk's existence. He's not fighting villains, but the people who fear him. It's a misunderstood being versus the machinery of control. While not favorably remembered, this scene is one of the most comic-accurate Hulk fights ever. with Hulk's repeated sidelining in the MCU, this scene stands as a rare example of a full raging Hulk, properly leaping through the air and tearing through tanks. In Thor, Ragnarok, Hulk isn't just smashing, he's talking. When he opens up to Thor during their quiet moment on Sakaar, it's surprisingly heartfelt. Sitting in the quarters after their gladiator battle, Hulk talks about how people always hate him and how he likes being Hulk more than Banner. It's the first time audiences have ever seen Hulk with real emotional depth and self-awareness. The moment hits even harder on Rewatch because it shows how much the character has grown. It humanizes Hulk and strengthens his bond with Thor, who's also dealing with feelings of failure and displacement. Years later, the scene remains a touching and crucial step toward Hulk's eventual transformation into Smart Hulk. It is a rare moment of the Savage Hulk himself developing and evolving, before he was quickly removed. It is also a prime, rare example of Hulk being adorably endearing in one of the MCU's most instantly iconic and endlessly rewatchable moments. Hulk confronts Loki during the Battle of New York in the Avengers. As Loki tries to assert his godly dominance with a grandiose speech, Hulk interrupts it with brutal simplicity. He grabs him mid-sentence and slams him repeatedly onto the floor like a rag doll. The scene is both hilarious and cathartic, especially given how much chaos Loki caused leading up to that point. "Puny God," Hulk mutters, sealing it as a fan-favorite line. On repeated viewings, the comedic timing and physicality of the scene still deliver a gut laugh. However, there's also satisfaction in watching the overconfident villain finally get what's coming to him. It's a perfect blend of action and humor that holds up beautifully. It also remains one of the MCU's most quotable moments. In the death of the Incredible Hulk, the ending delivers something rarely seen in superhero media: a definitive, emotional death for a hero. After years of running, Bruce Banner sacrifices himself to save others, falling from a plane and transforming in mid-air, only to never rise again. The scene is quiet, tragic, and deeply human. The Hulk, so often unstoppable, is suddenly fragile and mortal. Rewatching it years later, the emotional weight hits harder, especially knowing this was the end of Bill Bixby's portrayal of the character. The haunting piano music and Banner's final peaceful expression drive home the idea that he's finally free from the monster within. In an era where comic book deaths rarely stick, this rare moment of finality gives the Hulk story a strangely beautiful and poignant ending. For a character so fraught with turmoil, it's a surprisingly beautiful and peaceful farewell. The Avengers. Age of Ultron fight between Hulk and Iron Man's Hulkbuster suit is pure cinematic spectacle. Yet with time, it's also gained emotional weight. On the surface, it's a brutal, building-leveling clash between two powerhouse heroes. Rewatching it, the tragedy becomes clearer. Hulk is manipulated by Wanda's mind games, reduced to uncontrollable rage. Stark, though prepared, clearly doesn't want to hurt him. His line, "Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep," is almost comedic, but layered with desperation. The fight shows just how dangerous Hulk is, but also how much the team cares about keeping him from losing control. The collateral damage makes this a sobering scene in hindsight, especially as it foreshadows the eventual rift in Captain America: Civil War. The blend of tech, emotion, and chaos keeps this battle thrilling even years later. One of the most jaw-dropping moments in the MCU arrives when Bruce Banner finally reveals how he controls the Hulk, culminating in the Leviathan punch in the Avengers. As the monstrous alien approaches, Captain America tells Banner it might be time to get angry. Bruce calmly turns and says the now legendary line, "I'm always angry." Bruce instantly morphs into Hulk mid-stride. The transformation is completely seamless. A masterclass in visual effects, timing, and storytelling. Hulk then delivers a colossal punch that sends the Leviathan crashing down in spectacular fashion.